Welcome to the Sleep to Dream Analytics Explainer video, where better sleep starts with better understanding. You know that feeling, right? The moment you feel that first tickle in your throat, the first thing your body screams for is bed. That overwhelming, bone-deep exhaustion, it is not just in your head. It turns out that crazy desire to sleep is actually one of the oldest, most powerful defense mechanisms you've got. All right, let's dive in and really unpack the science of why you get so sleepy when you're sick. I mean, we all know this feeling. That moment the world just kind of fades out and all you can hear is the siren song of your pillow. It's a totally universal human experience. It's your body's first signal that a battle is about to kick off. And, for centuries, we've had a hunch that this was a pretty big deal.
You've heard it a million times, I'm sure. Oh, you're getting sick? Go get plenty of rest. It's advice that's been passed down forever. But what if I told you that this little piece of grandma wisdom is one of the most accurate medical orders you could possibly follow? Now, this timeline is just wild. We've known about this sleep-sickness connection for literally millennia. I mean, look, Hippocrates was talking about it way back in 400 BCE. But the craziest part is that the actual hard science explaining why it happens is shockingly recent. Most of the stuff we're about to get into was only figured out in the last 30 years or so. So that brings us to the big question of this whole explainer. Is that crushing fatigue just some unfortunate side effect of your body being under attack? Or is it something more? Is your body intentionally slamming on the brakes, forcing you to sleep as part of a deliberate battle plan? Well, the answer is a huge, resounding yes. It is absolutely a deliberate strategy. When your body detects an intruder, it doesn't just randomly start fighting. No, it launches a highly organized, system-wide emergency protocol. And that protocol has a name. It's called the Acute Phase Response, or APR for short. The best way to think about it is like your body's internal Defcon 1. It's this critical, built-in immune response that kicks into gear within hours of an infection. Its entire job is to sound the alarm, mobilize the troops, and create the perfect conditions for fighting off whatever's invaded. And the whole process is incredibly efficient. So first, an intruder, say a virus or some bacteria, gets detected. Right away, the APR alarm is sounded all through your system, and that alarm triggers a whole suite of carefully planned defensive moves. And this is what's so fascinating. It shows that feeling sleepy isn't some isolated event. It's just one piece of a much bigger strategy. The APR makes you want to sleep more, it jacks up your body temperature to give you a fever, it kills your appetite so you don't waste precious energy on digestion, and it even makes you want to withdraw from others to save energy and, not spread the bug around. It is all connected. It's a package deal. Okay, so if the body is intentionally making you tired, how does it actually do that? How does your immune system, which is down there fighting in your bloodstream and tissues, send a message all the way up to your brain that says, hey, shut it all down, time to sleep? The answer comes down to these amazing little molecules called cytokines. These are the chemical messengers for your immune system. They're the signals that kick off the entire acute phase response, and they are the direct line of communication between your immune system and your brain. Now, to keep it simple, you can think of them as being on two different teams. On one side, you've got the go team. These are the pro-inflammatory cytokines, like IL-1 and TNF. When an infection kicks off, these guys are released in huge numbers. They trigger the APR and send these powerful signals to your brain that actively make you want to fall into a deep, non-REM sleep. That's the really restorative, dreamless sleep. Then, on the other side, you have the calm down team, the anti-inflammatory cytokines. Their job is to eventually dial back the immune response and get things back to normal. And they can actually stop that deep sleep. It's a really beautiful, balanced system. Okay, so your body's message is crystal clear. Sleep is a critical part of the fight. But what happens when we just ignore that message? When we pop a few pills, chug a coffee, and just try to power through it? Well, this is where the science gets really, really compelling. The data on what happens when we rob our bodies of sleep during an immune challenge is, frankly, it's kind of staggering. It's not just that you feel worse, your entire defense system gets compromised. Let's start with something we all know and hate, the common cold. In one study, scientists tracked people's sleep habits and then, get this, they deliberately exposed them to a cold virus. The results were just undeniable. The people who were consistently sleeping less than 7 hours a night were way more likely to actually get sick than the people who slept more. Your nightly sleep habits can literally predict how vulnerable you are. But it gets even more dramatic when we look at how our bodies build long-term immunity, like from vaccines. The hit from sleep loss here is just shocking. Just look at this number, -50%. What on earth could cut our immune system's power in half? Well, the answer is on the next slide.
Yep, the answer is sleep deprivation. This chart pretty much says it all, showing results from several vaccine studies. In one, people got a flu shot after a few nights of not getting enough sleep. And you can see it right there in the bars. 10 days later, the sleep-deprived group produced less than half the protective antibodies of the well-rested group. Another study on the hepatitis A vaccine found that just one all-nighter after the shot cut the antibody response in half a month later. You're basically getting half the protection from the vaccine you just got.
And let that sink in for a second. This isn't just a temporary dip that your body bounces back from in a couple of days. The research shows that the damage to your immunological memory, your body's ability to remember a threat, can be incredibly long-lasting. That one all-nighter didn't just make you tired. It might have weakened your body's ability to fight that specific germ for a year, maybe even longer. So here's the bottom line, the point of all this. We need to fundamentally change how we think about sleep, especially when we're sick. It's not a sign of weakness, it's not laziness, it is the absolute opposite of that. Feeling sleepy when you're sick isn't your body failing you, it's your body succeeding. It's engaging an ancient, powerful, and highly active battle strategy. Sleep is the arena where your immune system does its absolute best work, and forcing you to go to sleep is one of the smartest things your body knows how to do. This quote from the research really nails it. Now, it's just a correlation, but the evidence from animal studies is just profound. The animals that have a strong sleep response when they get sick, the ones that sleep longer and deeper, are the same ones that have a higher chance of actually surviving the infection. Sleep is literally tied to survival. All right, let's do a super quick recap of the big takeaways. Number 1, that overwhelming urge to sleep when you're sick, it's a deliberate strategy called the acute phase response. 2, it's all orchestrated by those chemical messengers, the cytokines. 3, pushing through it just makes you more likely to get sick. And 4, not sleeping enough can literally cut the power of your vaccines in half. The conclusion couldn't be simpler. The next time you feel that sickness coming on, listen to your body. And you know what? Listen to your grandma. Which leaves us with one last thing to think about. Our modern world, our culture, it so often celebrates pushing through, working late, sacrificing rest for productivity. But in doing all that, are we maybe accidentally dismantling one of our oldest and most effective biological shields? It's definitely something to sleep on. Thank you for watching the Sleep to Dream Analytics Explainer video. We hope you sleep well and dream easy.